Yes, I need to adjust it. Thanks. So good morning, everyone. As expected, camera adjustment. There we go. If I need to adjust it more, you guys let me know in the comments. Okay. Move this. Hi everyone, this is Musna from the American Stroke Foundation. Welcome to our live Q&A on balance and exercises to help after stroke. For more information on what we discussed today or any of our previous stroke wellness topics, please visit our website at americanstroke.org and use the links to access our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and blog. These live events are meant to hear from you, so please join the chat with your questions and comments, and please share today's discussion with anyone you think might benefit. Before I start today, I want to let you know about an opportunity with American Stroke Foundation to participate in a virtual nutrition and physical activity program with a goal to prevent the onset of diabetes. To participate, you need to be at least 1 year post-stroke, have weight to lose based on your height, and not currently have a diagnosis of diabetes. If you are interested in participating or would like more information, please email me at musna@americanstroke.org. That's MUZNA @americanstroke.org, and we'll put this email address in the chat. All right, let's talk about balance. And if you have any questions about balance or have exercises that help you, please let me know in the chat so we can share this information. Good balance has 3 parts. The first is getting correct sensory information. This happens from your eyes. This is the visual system. It happens from your muscles, tendons, and joints. This is what we call proprioceptive input. And it happens from the balance organs in the inner ear. This is the vestibular system. As we've talked about before, vision is more than just eyesight or the visual acuity measurement using a vision chart. Your visual system helps you see where your head and body are in relationship to the world around you and to sense motion between you and your environment. For proprioceptive input, special sensors sensitive to stretch or pressure in your muscles, tendons, and joints help your brain to know how your feet and legs are positioned compared to the ground and how your head is positioned compared to your chest and shoulders. In the vestibular system, balance organs in the inner ear tell the brain about the movements and position of your head. There's a set of 3 tubes in each ear, and these sense when you move your head around and help keep your vision clear. There are also 2 structures in each ear that tell the brain when the head is moving in a straight line, like when you're riding in a car going up or down in the elevator, and sense the position of the head even when it's still, if it's upright or tilted. So this is super basic summary of the 3 components where we get sensory information related to balance. But for more detail, just look up the visual system, proprioceptive system, and vestibular system. The second part of good balance is the brain stem, making sense of all this sensory information in combination with other parts of the brain. Information from your vision, muscles, tendons, joints, and balance organs in your inner ear are all sent to the brain stem. The brain stem also gets information from other parts of the brain called the cerebellum and the cerebral cortex, mostly about prior experiences that have affected your sense of balance. Your brain can control balance by using the information that is most important for a particular situation. For example, in the dark, when the information from your eyes is reduced or might not be accurate, your brain will use more information from your legs and your inner ear. If you are walking on a sandy beach during the day, the information coming from your legs and feet will be less reliable, and your brain will use information from your visual and vestibular systems more. So they're all designed to work together. We can compensate pretty well if one of the systems is out of whack, but when 2 or more are not working the way you should, that's when we get deficits that need to be actively managed. The third part of good balance is movement of your eyes to keep objects in your vision stable and keep your balance. This is called motor output. Once your brain stem sorts all of the sensory information, it sends messages to the eyes and other parts of your body to move in a way that will help you keep your balance and have clear vision while you are moving. So to summarize, we get sensory information through our visual system, proprioceptive, that's our muscles, tendons, and joints, and our vestibular system, which is balance organs in our ear. That sensory information goes to the brainstem, and the brainstem makes sense of it, and then that results in a motor output, so movement while keeping your balance. If you feel off balance or dizzy, one of these systems may not be working correctly, like I just said, or the information from these systems may not be being integrated correctly. If you are struggling to walk or are stumbling often after a stroke, the problem may be muscle weakness, but it could also be your balance. A stroke damages the brain and weakens the messages your ears, eyes, and muscles send to the neurological system. These messages are essential to maintaining balance. As the brain begins to repair itself, you may notice a return of your coordination and balance. However, residual balance problems may occur, especially if the stroke affected your vision, hearing, or the balance control system in the brain. Physical and occupational therapy can help restore that balance. However, balance is an ability that has to be relearned after a stroke, and that requires paying more attention and more effort than just rehab alone can provide. In addition to rehab, a balanced home exercise program is vital. Losing your sense of balance changes many aspects of life. Simple actions like getting up, sitting up, standing up out of a chair become increasingly complex and require a tremendous amount of thought and effort. With a carefully designed exercise program and with physical and occupational therapy, you have more tools for your stroke wellness journey. All right, let's see. We have a comment from Herb. Arthritis may affect how I move. Yes, definitely. So arthritis affects how your joints feel, and in relation to that, how movement feels. So definitely you can change the input you're getting to your brain. So if you have that, if you had arthritis prior to your stroke, if you have arthritis after your stroke, make sure you discuss how that may be affecting your balance with your doctor. But proper management of all sensory issues related to the signals your body is giving you is going to be a big important part of balance. Any other questions or comments, please let us know in the chat. All right, now let's talk about some balance exercises. A reminder that you should always discuss your plans with a doctor before beginning a new exercise program. Do not continue exercising if you experience pain or discomfort, but talk to your doctor right away. So we're going to start with talking about basic level exercises. These basic exercises may seem simple at first, but they require strong neural connections to successfully complete. Start with these simple exercises as you work to rewire your mental processes. The repeated actions will build mental connections that can help restore balance. Remember that for these basic level exercises, always hold on to something to ensure you do not fall. Depending on where you are in your stroke journey, you may want someone with you at that time as well. So one of the examples of a basic level exercises is doing heel raises while holding on to a sturdy object. So find a sturdy chair or countertop you can hold on to for support. Hold on to the chair or counter and raise yourself up onto your tiptoes, keeping your knees straight and holding your upper body tall. Lower yourself back to the floor slowly and repeat. So exercise 1 is heel raises. Now in terms of sets and reps, listen to your body. A general, guideline is to do a few sets so that you have time to rest. So start with 3 sets of 8 and maybe build up to 3 sets of 10. More is not necessarily better. So listen to your body and also get guidance from your doctor. Another basic level exercise is something we call sidestepping. So use a counter or ledge to hold on to, or ask someone to give you a hand to hold for balance. You want to place an object or place some tape in a straight line in front of you, and you're going to step sideways to cross the line, crossing one leg across the front of the other leg. Reverse the motion to return to the starting point, this time crossing the leg behind. So you have a line in front of you, and you're going to step over it, cross the other leg over it. Now you're on one-sided line, and then cross reverse. Intermediate level balance exercises. The intermediate level exercises use the same basic ideas as the basic exercises, but without something to hold on to. After practicing the basic level exercises for a while, you should be able to perform them without assistance. However, for safety, always have a counter or chair nearby to grab if you start to lose your balance. Don't use a chair with wheels. All right, so intermediate, heel raises without holding on to anything. So same direction. Stand with your feet flat on the floor and your arms at your sides. Raise yourself to tiptoe, keeping your upper body and knees straight. Slowly lower and repeat. Next we have side stepping again without holding on to anything. Perform the side step, crossing your legs across each other as you move sideways across a straight line, but without holding on. Go slowly to avoid loss of balance and be ready to grab a hold of something if you lose your balance. The next exercise you can do is heel to toe walking. So this is what they ask you to do during like a sobriety field test. Use a straight line that you used for the side stepping. Walk forward, placing the heel of your foot directly in front of the toe of your other foot as you walk. Continue to the end of the tape, turn and repeat by returning to the starting point. So heel to toe in a straight line. Any of these exercises like heel raises, heel to toe walking, side stepping, you can also look up for visual instruction if you want. I'm sure you can find videos of it too. All right. Heel to toe walking. Another intermediate level exercise is doing a squat against a gym ball. So you place an exercise ball between your back and a wall. Stand tall. Slowly lower into a squatting position. Hold on with one hand if needed, or not holding on at all. Roll back up to a standing position and repeat. Once you start noticing improved balance, do not stop exercising. You are still building those mental connections. So now you can move on to more advanced level exercises. Advanced level, single leg standing. Place both feet flat on the floor. Slowly lift one leg until you are balanced on the other leg. Hold for a count of 10 and slowly lower it back down. Alternate legs and repeat. The next one is backwards walking. In a room that is free from obstacles, walk backwards slowly. Try to avoid looking where you are going, but use your sense of balance and slow movements to avoid a loss of balance. At first, perform this exercise with something close by to hold on to like a wall or countertop until you gain confidence in your abilities. Another exercise that's more advanced is a weighted ball pass. Use a weighted exercise ball. Slowly pass the ball from hand to hand as you circle it around your body. Start by circling the body in a clockwise motion, then repeat in a counterclockwise motion. Perform this exercise while standing. So if you don't have you don't need a weighted exercise ball, just use anything that makes have to grip your hands like chest width or shoulder width apart. Will do the trick. Weighted just makes it extra hard. So those are some exercises. Now, if you are further along in your stroke recovery journey and are years out from your stroke and you feel like these exercises you've already mastered, you can always add weight, like the weighted ball, but also consider having someone observe you do these exercises, because although you may be able to keep your balance standing on one leg, like the intermediate exercise, that was a standing on one leg was an advanced exercise. Even though you're able to maintain your balance, your posture may not be the best when you do it. So you may not be fully weight bearing on the leg you're standing on. So if someone is observing it, or if they can record you doing it, you're going to get additional insight. So you want to make sure that all these exercises, and these are just examples, it's not an exhaustive list. You want to make sure you're doing it with full, your center of gravity over your base of support, which just means that wherever most of your mass is over where your feet are. You want that to be right, and you want to make sure your posture is good and that you are weight bearing fully through both legs. So if you put it in that perspective, I'm sure we can all benefit from doing these exercises. And you know, this is not just for stroke survivors. I mean, caregivers could benefit from it too. Risk of falls increases as we get older. The bathroom is where falls happen the most, and that's usually because when we're doing routine activities, the fact that it's a routine kind of overrides our mindfulness about any changes in balance that we've had. That means like when you're taking a shower, your brain's like, oh, I've done this a million times, I'm taking a shower, I'm not thinking about it, and you're less mindful of your legs being weak or how your balance has changed than if you were concentrating on just walking. Does that make sense? So these are exercises that are beneficial for everyone. Also things like Tai Chi or Ai Chi, which is Tai Chi in the water. Though that is really common in some countries, especially for older adults, because it's been proven to improve balance and reduce the risk of falls. So anything that you have to work on balance actively, just like you work on muscle strength actively or range of motion actively. Balance and flexibility need to be a part of that equation as well. Now, fall prevention is a whole, another talk on its own, but since we are talking about balance, let's talk about loss of balance. So you have to, and this is a discussion you want to have with your caregiver or whoever is your primary support in your stroke recovery journey, that sometimes if you fall, the best thing to know is the safe way to fall, right? There are situations where you can catch your balance and use a supportive object, and there's a situation where trying to catch yourself or having someone try to catch you, especially if they're of a different height or size, can result in more injury. So if you are falling, and granted it happens split second, so it's not like you're going to assess the situation in the moment, but if you're falling and you're not able to catch yourself, the best thing is to keep your head and neck tucked to avoid hitting your head and to protect your head and neck. Everything else can be dealt with. It's a lot safer to end up in that position and land on something else than it is to hit your head. That's number one. Number two, have a plan with your caregiver, right? If your caregiver is a lot smaller than you, them catching you is going to result in both of you guys going down. So have a plan. And also be aware of your surroundings, right? If you're stationary, you know that the object beside you that you're going to place is stable. But if you're moving, pay attention. Like if I go down at a curb, I need to make sure my arms are out, my head and neck is tucked. Don't flail your arms out because you know there's nothing around you. So it takes practice. So that's just a general reminder there. Do we have any questions and comments? Did I miss any? Not so far. Okay. So let's summarize. So balance is a skill. And, if you think about after a stroke, you also need to kind of assess where you were with balance before. A lot of things change after a stroke, and sometimes it's easy to put everything in the category of consequence of stroke or symptom of stroke, but you also need to look at how your health and functional health and functional performance was before the stroke, so you can tease it out. Not that it can't be improved whether it was before or after the stroke, but you also don't want to work on stroke related exercises hoping to improve something that wasn't on point before the stroke, right? It just tells you which intervention is going to be right. So good balance has three parts: sensory information coming in through your eyes, your ears, the balance organs in your ears, and your muscles, tendons, and joints. All that sensory information goes to your brainstem, which sorts it out, and then that information is used to create the appropriate motor output or the movement of your eyes while you're moving so that you're able to keep your balance. If one of those systems is not performing well, we can usually compensate pretty well. If two or more are compromised, that's when we start to get symptoms that affect our functional performance. After a stroke, all three of those parts of the balance picture can be affected, whether your stroke affected your visual system, your muscles, and tendons or your balance organs in your ear. So balance is often something that has been affected. It may not be affected to the sense that you can't stand up on your own or stay up on your own, but it could be more subtle, like with more increased distance, with increased fatigue, with increased cognitive fatigue, your balance may be compromised. So make sure you're looking at the broadest picture possible. You definitely want to address balance changes with physical and occupational therapy, but a home exercise program is essential. And we went over some exercises at the basic, intermediate, and advanced level. So basic level is shifting your body outside of your base of support. So whether your feet are shoulder width apart or your feet are wider, shifting your weight forward, backwards, left, or right, and recovering from that. At the basic level, you're having something for support. So you're holding onto a chair without wheels or a counter, or you're holding someone's hand. At the intermediate level, you're doing those exercises without support. So you're not holding someone's hand, and you're not holding onto a stationary object, and you're doing those exercises. And at the advanced level, you're doing things that require more coordination, more recovery time, adding more weight. And you can always, run your exercises by your therapist, your rehab therapist, check with your doctor to make sure you're cleared. Now, these exercises you can do from a seated level, you can do it from a standing level, you can do it from a wheelchair level, but you have to get the biggest part of your body outside where your feet are. So that recovery is needed. If you don't shift outside that base of support, you're not challenging your balance. Any questions? While we wait, next week, there's no Facebook Live next week. I will see you again at 11 o'clock Central, Thursday, October 12th, for a live Q&A about plant foods and the benefits for brain health. We'll learn why eating the rainbow matters after a stroke. Okay, if we have no questions, we can wrap up. Make sure you share this video or any of our previous live Q&As with anyone who might benefit, stroke survivors and caregivers included. And we will see you on the 12th. Take care, everyone.